Welcome to Fluent Up Daily English.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Fluent Up Daily English. I'm Alex.
And I'm Emma.
We're happy you're here with us today.
Take a moment to relax, slow down, and enjoy some English with us.
No pressure,
No stress.
just English, one conversation at a time.
Taking a walk
Whether you're having your morning coffee,
or simply relaxing at home.
driving to work, thank you for spending a few minutes with us today.
Today's topic is something every English learner needs.
We're talking about how to talk about yourself in English.
A simple topic, but sometimes a difficult one.
That's true. Many people can understand English very well.
But when someone asks, "Tell me about yourself,"
Suddenly, everything disappears.
the vocabulary disappears.
The grammar disappears.
Even your name disappears.
Exactly. Simple examples.
And a few laughs along the way.
Because learning English should feel natural.
Not stressful.
So, grab your coffee
Put on your headphones.
and let's begin. So, Emma, why do you think talking about yourself is such an important skill?
Because it happens everywhere.
That's true.
When you meet new people, when you start a new job, when you travel, or even when you're taking an English class.
Sooner or later, someone will ask, "Tell me about yourself."
And for many English learners, that's a scary moment.
Very scary.
The funny thing is, nobody knows more about you than you do.
Exactly. You're the expert on your own life.
You know your name, you know where you're from, you know your hobbies.
And you know what you like and don't like.
But when we speak in another language, everything suddenly feels more difficult.
I remember feeling that way when I was learning Spanish.
Really?
Oh yes, someone asked me a very simple question. Tell me about yourself.
And?
I completely froze.
No way.
Yes. Way. I forgot words I had known for months.
That's actually very normal.
I think many listeners have experienced the same thing.
Definitely. Sometimes it's not about English, it's about confidence.
That's a great point.
When you're nervous, even easy sentences can feel difficult.
But the good news is that talking about yourself becomes easier with practice.
Much easier.
The more you do it, the more natural it feels.
And you don't need perfect English.
Not at all.
You just need a few simple sentences.
And a little confidence.
That's what we're going to practice today.
By the end of this episode, you'll have plenty of ideas for talking about yourself in English.
And hopefully you'll feel a little more confident too.
I think you will.
So let's start with the basics.
Let's talk about introductions. So, Emma, let's start with a simple question. How would you introduce yourself to someone new?
Good question. I would probably say something like, "Hi, I'm Emma. I'm from London and I work in marketing. I enjoy reading books, drinking coffee, and spending time with friends."
Simple, natural, and easy to understand.
Exactly. Many English learners think they need long and complicated sentences.
But that's usually not necessary.
Most native speakers introduce themselves with simple information.
Let me try. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm from Manchester. I enjoy photography, podcasts, and traveling.
See? That's perfect.
And it only takes a few seconds.
When introducing yourself, there are a few things people usually talk about.
Your name,
Where you're from,
what you do,
and your hobbies or interests.
That's really enough for a good introduction. Let's imagine we're meeting for the
E.
first time. Okay,
Hi, Alex. Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
Can you tell me a little about yourself?
Of course, my name is Alex. I'm from Manchester. I work online and I enjoy photography and traveling. How about you?
I'm Emma. I'm from London. I work in marketing. In my free time, I love reading and cooking.
Cooking.
Well,
I try to cook. That's a different answer.
let's just say I'm still learning.
Fair enough. One useful phrase is, let me tell you a little about myself.
That's a great phrase. It sounds natural and friendly.
For example, let me tell you a little about myself. I'm Alex, I'm from Manchester, and I love traveling.
Another useful phrase is, I was born in,
For example, I was born in London.
or I was born in Warsaw.
Very useful when talking about your background.
I think many people worry about making mistakes during introductions.
I agree. But honestly, most people don't care if your English is perfect.
They're interested in you
Exactly. They want to know who you are.
and what makes you interesting.
Sometimes a simple introduction can start a great conversation.
Or even a friendship.
That's true.
Let's give our listeners a small challenge.
Good idea.
If you're listening right now, try introducing yourself in English.
Just one or two sentences.
For example, my name is Anna. I'm from Poland. I enjoy music and movies.
Or, my name is Carlos. I'm from Spain. I like football and traveling.
Simple, natural, and effective.
Remember, you don't need perfect English,
You just need to start speaking.
and every introduction gets easier.
Exactly.
Now that we've introduced ourselves,
Let's talk about something people love discussing
their hobbies.
and the things they enjoy doing in their free time.
Now, let's talk about hobbies.
One of my favorite topics.
Really?
Of course, hobbies tell us a lot about people.
That's true. When you meet someone new, one of the most common questions is, what do you do in your free time?
Exactly. And it's a great way to continue a conversation.
So, Emma, what do you enjoy doing in your free time?
Well, I enjoy reading books.
I especially like mystery novels. Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. I love trying to solve the mystery before the ending.
And do you usually succeed?
Not really.
That makes it more exciting.
Exactly. What about you?
I enjoy photography. Whenever I travel, I take my camera everywhere.
Everywhere?
Pretty much.
I can imagine you stopping every 2 minutes to take pictures.
That's actually very accurate.
Poor people traveling with you.
I know. They're very patient.
Hobbies are also a great topic because there are so many possibilities.
Some people enjoy sports.
Others enjoy music.
Some people love cooking.
And some people love gaming.
There are no right or wrong hobbies.
Exactly. The important thing is talking about what you enjoy.
Let's share some useful phrases.
Good idea. One simple phrase is, I enjoy.
For example, I enjoy reading.
I enjoy cooking.
I enjoy playing football.
Very easy. Very natural.
Now, let's talk about another topic that comes up very often.
Work.
And daily life.
People often ask, what do you do?
It's one of the most common questions in the world.
Exactly. And luckily, the answer can be very simple.
For example, I'm a student.
Or, I work in marketing.
or I'm a teacher.
You don't need a long explanation.
Short and clear is usually best.
So, Alex, what do you usually tell people when they ask about your work?
I usually say, I work online and I create content.
That's simple.
And then people often ask more questions.
Like what?
What kind of content? How long have you been doing it? Things like that.
Conversations grow naturally.
Exactly. You don't need to tell your whole life story in one sentence.
When I introduce myself, I usually say, I work in marketing.
And do people understand what that means?
Sometimes. Sometimes they just smile and nod.
That's very common.
I think we've all done that. Someone explains their job.
And you pretend you understand.
Exactly.
Daily life is another great topic.
Because everyone has routines.
For example, I usually wake up at 7.
I go to work at 8.
I have lunch around noon.
I spend my evenings with family.
Simple sentences, but very useful.
Let's share some useful expressions.
Good idea. One phrase is, I usually,
For example, I usually start work at 9.
or I usually go for a walk after dinner.
Very natural English.
Another useful phrase is, a typical day for me.
For example, a typical day for me starts with coffee.
I think many listeners can relate to that.
Definitely. Coffee is very important.
Some people say it's essential.
I'm one of those people.
What's your favorite part of the day?
Probably the evening. Everything becomes quieter. I can relax and read a book. How about you?
I like the morning.
Really?
Yes. I enjoy the feeling of a fresh start.
That's actually very positive.
Well, ask me again before my first coffee.
Good point.
One thing I've noticed is that people enjoy hearing about everyday life.
Because it's relatable.
Exactly. You don't need exciting stories all the time.
Sometimes simple stories are the most interesting.
Talking about work, daily routines, weekend plans.
Those are real conversations.
And that's exactly what we're practicing today.
So if someone asks, what do you do?
Don't panic.
Keep it simple.
Tell them about your job
Or your studies.
and maybe one thing you enjoy doing.
That's enough to start a conversation.
Now that we've talked about work and daily life,
Let's talk about something a little more personal.
family, dreams, and future goals.
One of my favorite topics.
Now that we've talked about work and daily life, I think we've learned something important today.
Talking about yourself in English doesn't have to be complicated.
Exactly. A few simple sentences can start a great conversation.
And remember, you don't need perfect English.
You just need to start speaking.
Before we go, tell us about yourself in the comments.
What's your name?
Where are you from?
And what's one hobby you enjoy?
Write your answer in English.
We'd love to read it. Subscribe. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe to FluentUpDaily English.
We create cozy English podcasts to help you improve naturally.
One conversation at a time. Thank you for spending part of your day with us.
Take care of yourself. Keep practicing. Keep listening.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Emma. And this was Fluent Up Daily English.
See you in the next episode.